what I would say to a leftist. This is what I would say to a leftist. Things like truth and things like values matter, okay? And what I would say to a communist or somebody who is far, far left, and who is a social justice warrior, okay, this is what I would say. I would say, I understand you do have some complaints, but you're going about it the wrong way. Communism has killed more people than fascism. So, what I disagree with the left about is how to go about making this society uh, a better place. So, we disagree with how to go about it. Um, the Democrat Party has for a long time been playing the race card, and that divides us. Okay, obviously, and so the left is really digging in, and it's all about the Democrats. It's Republicans are evil. Trump is evil. Trump. They're so bad, but they don't actually take a look in the mirror to self-reflect their own bias, basically. So that's what you have now. You have hypocrites in government, hypocrites on social media, hypocrites at the gym, hypocrites at the Walmart, and very little truth gets through. Very little truth gets through. Very little eye contact. Very little connection. Right? We live in a very disconnected society nowadays. And it's only going to get worse as technology amplifies. I'm a technology writer. I'm a science fiction writer. That's what I do in my spare time. And I've had very few people actually come up to me and try to actually engage with what I do and try to make it better. Very few people. That's why I say very few people are alike. There's not very many two people that are alike, and what you need to have a successful entrepreneurship or a successful company is you need two people to come together. You need a Howard Stern and a Robin, right? So when Howard Stern was on the radio, he found Robin, and that's how the two of them came together and they created something new. And, Howard didn't have to fill out that W-2 anymore. Robin didn't have to fill out that W-2 anymore. So, anyway, I kind of got off track, but what I was saying was you can't argue with a leftist. You can't. They believe that government should implement all sorts of social justice warrior regulations, and you just can't do that. Okay. Um, yes, some of their talking points are valid. Yes. Um, but you got to remember the Democratic Party has uh, much more blood on their hands when it comes to things like racism. Um, Communism has killed more people around the world. If you look at Russia, the fall of the Soviet Union, if you look at China, right? Big government, big state government, right? Diversity. They run on diversity. Well, they're not really diverse. They don't hire felons. They don't hire poor people. They don't hire guys with tattoos. They don't hire guys without education. So they're not really that diverse. Diverse in what way is what I would say. So the social justice warriors always really get under my skin. Um, they're self-righteous hypocrites. They don't know anything about coming together. They don't know anything about starting something new. They don't know anything about working with other people. They don't know how. Um, you know, there is such thing as intelligence, and people who are more intelligent do tend to make more money. That's something that leftists really don't want to hear. They don't want to hear. Um, and I'm not that smart. My IQ is only probably 100, 110. Um, and I hate to say this, but um, communism, if you look at the rest of the world, Russia, China, South America, communism has killed more people than fascism. And the leftists, it's weird because the leftists are still stuck in this bubble of World War II thinking. It's left or right, left or right, left or right. It's the Republicans that are bad. It's the Trump. Those white people voting for Trump. Even though the white people that voted for Trump voted for him because they all lost their jobs and were the victims of the opioid crisis, but you don't hear them talking about that. No, no, no. You don't hear them talking about the thousands of white people in rural Appalachia who lost their jobs and were fed a bunch of pills for 10 years and died. You don't hear about that. And it's weird because a lot of the real left, hard left, social justice warrior people that I know or that I see on social media, most of them come from northern states. Most of them come from outside Philadelphia, outside Boston, outside New York, California. Very few of them actually live in the South, which is where racism and slavery has started and has been prevalent. If you go to the South today, where I live, you will still see cotton fields, and you will still see black people, and you will still see white people, and they're still separate to this day. You have white families, white farms, and white people segregated, and you have black families and black farms, and that it's still got that South feeling, but you don't see no social justice warriors in the South because they still hold on to those values. They still hold on to the traditions. They still teach their kids to tell the truth. They still teach their kids that values matter, that telling the truth matters, that when you look at yourself in the mirror, you can tell yourself at the end of the day, if all else fails, you can tell yourself, I did the best I could. I told the truth. I did the right thing. That's what's missing today. Is the schools don't teach it. The schools never taught it. The schools never taught morality. They never taught ethics. The schools never, that was never their job, okay? Government schools were there to find out who the smartest people are, to put them in positions of power, and to basically group or categorize everybody else. That's what the schools were always there for. Now, this started in the 60s. This started in the 60s when the civil rights movement started, and that also started abortion, started big government, and that's when big government came in and kicked the father out of the home. Told the single black woman, we will give you crumbs, we will give you the food stamps, but you cannot have a father in the home, or we will take them away. We'll give you $1. We'll give you $1, but you can't have the father in the home. That's when that started in the 1960s. So that's where we are today. We are a fragmented, fractured society. The truth and lies are kind of been bent, have been shadowed. You don't really know what's true. You don't really know what's real anymore. Um, Income inequality is getting worse. Nobody's talking about it. Um, they don't want guys like me. They don't want guys like me to get a voice. They don't want regular people to say something because it takes away from their power. So we live in this fantasy land. Nobody really knows what's true, what's real anymore. It's a disconnected, fragmented society. And technology's really amplified that because back in the day, you couldn't escape, right? You couldn't escape. Um, you had to talk to the Joneses. You had to meet with the milkman. You had to see the postman every day. You had to go into town and look for a job. People still rode around on horse and buggies up until like the 30s, 40s. After World War II, that's when we really became we really got rid of the buggy whip after World War II. Because before World War II, you could go into the South or rural America, you'd still see the buggy whip. People would still be driving horses. Um, but you can escape nowadays. You can escape. You can go and tweet. You can go on the internet. You can become a different person. You can text. You can lie. It's really easy to lie. You can text, pretend to be somebody else you're not. Text a person. It's just the avenues and the channels are so much different just within the past 10 years. Um, that the truth really gets blurred. The truth really gets put on the back burner. And manipulation becomes what the incentive is. The incentives to lie are much more prevalent than it is to tell the truth. There's no incentive to tell the truth. There's no incentive to come together anymore, where there used to be some sort of incentive. I'm not saying the hardcore right people on the right are right. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying we need reason. We need compassion. We don't need any more hate. We don't need any more finger pointing. We don't need any more complaining because the complaining just gets old. We need reason, rationality. And that's not what the left brings. The far left does not bring that. The far left cannot bring that. I don't know any far leftists that believe in telling the truth before anything else. That's my thing. That's what I see. Now I'm just a guy that's speaking to a camera in front of a couple people. My audience is small, I'm hoping to see some new people engage, but it's weird. It's like nobody wants to engage. Everybody's suspicious of everybody else online, you know. That was the thing that surprised me the most when I got older, was the disconnection that you felt with the rest of society. Not necessarily your friend or your girlfriend or your significant other, but the rest of society, the disconnection, That was the thing that surprised me the most out of anything when I got older. So, because it's really hard to bring people together. When you want to start your own company, when you want to start your own blog, make your own videos and stuff like that, and really try to get your opinion across in the truth, it's really, really hard to bring people together, you know. Um, and that's the thing that surprised me the most. But anyway, send me a DM, tell me what you think. If you had 3 wishes, what would they be? I'd like to know. Thank you. I hope to see you soon.